Hey guys, Huzz here, bringing you episode 2 of the World of Warcraft leveling series that we have started on the channel recently. Now this is going to be the official kind of, I guess, start to the series, seeing that last episode was basically just telling you how we're going to go about doing things. So the format right now, I am obviously, every single episode I'm playing live. And what we're going to be doing is do some questing. I'm going to be speeding up the questing while talking about certain things. And today's topic is going to be about my history of World of Warcraft, and just going in a little bit more of what World of Warcraft actually is, as some people literally never have played it before, which I was really surprised about, as I may have mentioned last time. But yeah, definitely World of Warcraft is a game that, as I kind of said in last video, came out in 2004. But my history with it, I was a RuneScape player. Some of you probably have heard of the game RuneScape before. I was a RuneScape player, and then a friend of mine convinced me to try World of Warcraft because he said, "Oh, it's a superior game in many aspects, etc. So come try it out." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I went to World of Warcraft. The first ever character that I made was a Night Elf Hunter. But then the first character that I actually kind of mained and was actually going to go, yeah, this is going to be my character, I believe was a Troll Hunter. On the Realm Anachronous, my original server, but that was on a trial account. And then when I came to actually buying World of Warcraft to actually play the game properly, I made a new account, which is this one I'm playing on right now. And then the first character on that account was my Orc warrior that was named Huzzy. Now that character stayed around for quite some time. I made him at about 2/3 into the expansion, the Burning Crusade. And then I never got in max level in Burning Crusade. I just played very casually. And then when Wrath of the Lich King came out, I got him to max level. And then that was the start to my raiding, I guess. I was never a very good raider in most of Wrath of the Lich King, apart from the end. I was somebody that was, I was fairly young, so that kind of probably had a lot to do with it. But yeah, it was interesting, raiding on my warrior that I really didn't have much idea what was going on. It was quite cool in a way, and that's kind of what I say about League of Legends. A lot of people will say, what is the most fun experience you've ever had in League? And yeah, sure, I've had many fun experiences in League, but one of them was literally leveling up. When you have no idea about what the hell's going on, you have no consequences, you're not really worried about any rating or anything like that. You literally are just playing for fun. And that was kind of like World of Warcraft for me when I was first raiding, because I wasn't an officer in a guild, I wasn't a raid leader, I was just a raider. And I might be going back like that in Draenor. I will be going back like that in Draenor, because the guild I'm currently in, that I'll be raiding with in Warlords, is I'm not an officer in it, I'm not a raid leader in it, I'm just going to be a normal raider. Which I kind of miss it in a way. It's going to be pretty cool just to be a normal raider, as I haven't been one in many years. But then continuing where I left off my story, basically I was a very bad raider on my warrior for a very long period. Then I swapped over to my druid, and I was a druid healer for a few months, maybe up to a year or so, because you have to remember Wrath of the Lich King was actually a fairly long expansion. And then after that, I was a fairly decent druid healer. I was one of the best druid healers on the realm. That's kind of when my raiding started to turn around. But then after that is when my raiding really started to turn around, and that's when I leveled up my hunter and then turned my main from my druid into my hunter. And I pretty much did that overnight. A lot of people, if you've ever played World of Warcraft, or you've ever done, even in League of Legends, if you've got a main champion, you don't suddenly just go and main a different champion overnight. Normally there's a little, you play a little bit of it, and then it becomes your main. But no, literally, it was kind of like an overnight thing for me, that I was playing my druid, and we were doing 25-man raids with another guild, and we were doing 10-man raids, and we had so many druids, and it was so many druid healers. We had like 3 or 4 druid healers, all fighting for the same healer spots. And because normally you have to have a variety in the classes that you raid with in World of Warcraft, and trust me, in this series I'll probably be teaching you guys just casually what is raiding, what is the normal format for raiding. You know, you need tanks, healers, and DPS. We'll be going through that in the series. But we needed some variety, so I offered to go on my hunter, and I did that. And yeah, it was pretty much overnight. I remember dinging, which is a term in World of Warcraft for leveling up, and I dinged max level, so got to max level on my hunter, which at the time was level 80. And the day after that, I was in a alt run, which is like an alternative character run in a raid called Icecrown Citadel, and my hunter literally got geared from that raid. I got like the best in slot bow. I got a few tier pieces. My hunter was pretty damn geared straight away, and at the time, my druid was actually the best geared in the guild. Within, I think, a month, my hunter actually became the best geared in the guild. So then I had both 1 and 2 spots of best geared characters were taken by me. It was my hunter and my druid were at the time the best characters in the guild, which was pretty damn funny. But obviously that stopped being so when I stopped playing my druid, and then my hunter just continued being my main. But yeah, that's pretty much my story with World of Warcraft. And then, you know, raiding wise, I kept raiding, and with getting better and better each kind of expansion and just understanding the game, I took more of a raid leading role at the end of Icecrown Citadel. That was in Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I was raid leading 25-man raids at probably the age of about 15, 16, which is actually quite daunting if you actually think about it. You know, our guild was not like a young person's guild. We had 40-year-old men in there, you know, or 30-year-old women. It was, you know, we had all ages, so it was quite daunting at the time. But I did that, and then slowly, you know, with any game, people quit, new people come, and just slowly it turned into that I was more of I was not the guild master, but I was kind of like the acting guild master as such. But then, you know, eventually I did become the guild master of Unknown Era, which was the guild that I was in for pretty much my whole time playing WoW, apart from now. And that was really fun. You know, Unknown Era was a great guild. I have really good memories from it, and that is one thing I want to say. If you're watching this series and you're like, I've never played WoW before, one thing I want to say to that is World of Warcraft is a game that you will make friendships in. More so than League of Legends. You know, the guys that I hang out on TeamSpeak, still to this day, all of them are from my World of Warcraft guild. You know, they don't play World of Warcraft anymore. I'm starting to get back into World of Warcraft, but we've made a friendship there. You know, that's the one thing I would say that is really cool in World of Warcraft, is potential for friendship. You know, you can't go into World of Warcraft really going by yourself. It's okay if none of your real life friends play, because you can always find a guild. But you have to pretty much be in a guild to have a good experience in World of Warcraft, is what I'm trying to say. Which is cool. You know, it kind of forces the game to be a lot more social than, say, like League of Legends. On League of Legends, you can log in, not talk to anybody, and that's it. Well, WoW, you have to, pretty much to do anything. You know, if you want to do PvP to a high level, then yeah, you gotta communicate with people. And if you want to do PvE, which is player versus environment, again, you need to communicate with people. But now, you know, you may say, where does the story go of my WoW experience? So I played at the beginning on Mr. Pandaria. You know, Cataclysm was kind of, I was on and off in Cataclysm, the expansion before Pandaria, due to school and education and stuff. And then Pandaria came along, and we raided for a while at the start, but it just wasn't the same. A lot of the core members of the raiding team that we had left due to... They didn't leave the guild, they just quit playing. Which was a bit of a bummer, but it happens. And yeah, the guild kind of fell apart, I guess. And a lot of us stopped playing, and that's when League of Legends became really big for me. I just played League instead of WoW. Pretty much to like the same time, almost. You know, I played World of Warcraft every single day when I played WoW, but now, or then I played League of Legends every single day. So it kind of just turned into my main game. Which is cool, you know, that's kind of how I became, you know, the diamond player and everything like that. It's just because I had a lot of time to invest in playing. Yeah, it was pretty good, you know, World of Warcraft back in the day. The only thing I want to say is I hope it's going to be good in Draenor. And going in from a point of view that I have nothing really to lose, that I'm not going to be a guild master, I'm not going to be a raid leader, I'm just going to be a pure raider. You know, that takes a lot of pressure off you, which is going to be quite nice. It's like being a captain, I guess, of a League of Legends team. You know, the captain of a team generally is the person that tells people if they're not pulling their weight or anything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much what a guild master or raid leader does. And I won't have that anymore. I'll be the person that just has to focus on playing as well as I can, and that will be it. But yeah, now I'm on the server Vexthal, which you can probably see on the bottom left occasionally. There is a graphic that comes, like, the graphic swaps every 3 minutes. And you can see the server on one of the graphics. And people did actually ask, let's just quickly get into this little thing, why am I on a PvP server when I don't PvP? Well, the whole point of PvP servers is PvP servers actually attract the best players. They always have, and I think they always will. You know, if you look at any of the best guilds in the world, even raiding guilds, they are all on PvP servers. Because PvP servers, as mentioned, they attract the best players because, you know, even if I'm a raider, I do like doing open world PvP every now and then, and so do all the better players as well. So I'm on the PvP server, Grim Batol, in the guild Vexthal, which is an alliance hardcore raiding guild. Now, in Warlords of Draenor, I had a couple of options what I was going to do. Either I was going to try, like, the guild I'm in right now has 2 raiding teams. It has, like, the progression group that is, like, really hardcore, and if you do something wrong, you know, they'll tell you straight away. There's no messing around, whatever. And if you're not pulling your weight for a couple of weeks, you'll get replaced. That's simple, which is fine. You know, I'm fine with that. Or there was the other team, which is a little bit more casual, but still going for kind of a heroic raiding level. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going into kind of the second group, I've decided, and I've talked to the raid leader of it. Just because it's probably going to be a bit easier to keep doing League of Legends content while being in a raiding guild, you know, if it's a bit more casual, although still doing really well. And as for people will say, what content am I going to be covering in Draenor, and what World of Warcraft content will I be doing? It's not amazingly 100% planned yet, but it should be content that is interesting, to say the least. You know, my plan is to stream from level 90 to 100, and that will probably be on my Shaman. I'm going to stream the whole way. I'm going to hopefully do it in one go. So it might be even like a 24-hour stream. I don't really know how long it's going to take me. But that should be fun, and I will be recording it as well, like local recording it, so I'll make a highlight video of that on YouTube if any funny moments happened, because I'm sure I'm going to be joined by friends on TeamSpeak, and I'll probably jump on the guild that I'm in, Vexthal. I'll probably jump on their Ventrilo server quite often, which should be, again, fun. Which I'll say, if you guys play World of Warcraft and you haven't played for a while and you're looking for a guild to join and you're in Europe, feel free to join my server, Grim Batol, and if you simply want to join the guild, Vexthal, as a social, you can do that. I've spoken to the guild leader, and they're completely fine with people just joining as socials. If you do want to raid, obviously you do generally have to have some good experience in there, because it is a pretty damn good guild. But you are welcome to have an application for raiding if you do want to. But yeah, other content that we'll be doing, so yeah, the leveling stuff will be happening, and then when I am level 100, obviously there are dungeons that have to be run, you know, heroic dungeons to gear up ready for raiding. I'll be probably doing a video of myself going through them, of every single one. I don't see why not. I think there's about 8 dungeons in total, so there's like 8 videos right there, and they'll probably be sped up with... maybe sped up, maybe not. Maybe I'll speed it up, all the trash, and then slow it down when we're doing bosses. That might be an idea, with music in between. That could be a good idea. And then as for raid content, what I'm going to be doing on the channel, I'm still kind of thinking how I'm going to do it, as obviously with being myself in the kind of second group, we're probably not going to be downing bosses as fast as the first group, most likely. So, but I know some people in the main group have recording facilities, so I might talk to them about if they record it, then I can make it into a video and put it up on my channel of like the guild's first kill on so-and-so boss. Even if I'm not in that raid team, you know, it's probably quite nice just showing what the guild is doing. You know, the best team is doing this, blah, blah, blah. That should be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll be doing just pretty cool WoW content, as I kind of mentioned a few times now. The World of Warcraft stuff, when Warlords comes out, there will probably be a lot of it on the channel. So I will apologise to people that just don't care about WoW, but that probably is none of you, because if you're You know, this video is, let's see, because I've got a timer going to see how long I'm doing. You know, we're about 14-15 minutes into this video, so if you're in this long on a World of Warcraft video, you probably are interested in WoW. So, yeah, basically, WoW content will be happening a lot when Draenor comes out. It will calm down, you know, because it's going to be so crazy when Draenor comes out. Basically, what I'm planning, and this is, you know, planning is me, I'm going to be recording hopefully about between 5 and 7 League of Legends videos before Draenor comes out, just to have on my hard drive, like they're ready to upload. And then basically I can upload League of Legends videos every now and then while I'm only playing World of Warcraft. That's the plan anyway. Which hopefully should go quite well. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. I am looking forward to Draenor. Really am. But that's pretty much this topic covered. So yeah, hopefully you guys will kind of get more of a gist of what this whole series is going to be about. You know, that was a topic that was just going over briefly my World of Warcraft history and my hopes and how's the channel going to go in Draenor. But if we're going to talk about another topic, because generally what I'm going to be doing is 2 topics per video. With obviously you can see right now, I'm playing this live. Like if you want some idea of where I am exactly right now in the video, I'm actually in the mines killing the kobolds for the gold dust and the candles. So that was probably ages ago in the video, but that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm actually making my way back to Goldshire. But yeah, this is the series, so it's still going to be quite, like, I'm still figuring out exactly how I'm going to do it. It's going to probably take me a couple episodes just to get right. But this is where I'll say, if you guys have got topics that you want me to do, let me know. You know, that's the whole point. If you want me to do a topic about going more in depth of raiding World of Warcraft, like I mentioned, I probably will do that topic anyway, but I'll be talking about a normal raid team has 2 tanks, healers, and DPS. Like I'll probably go through that in the series. But the next topic that we're going to talk about, and this will be the final one for this video, is kind of the differences between high-level World of Warcraft play and high-level League of Legends play. I thought this would be a good idea because many of you obviously watch many professionals in League of Legends and streams and that, and they're at the top level, and you probably wonder, like, what's the difference between them and a really high WoW player? Well, honestly, the first thing to say, you know, there are professional World of Warcraft players, not as many as LoL ones. You know, back in the times that World of Warcraft was really big, you had a guild called Paragon, that they used to get paid to do certain events. You know, Blizzard always bring out best guilds in the world to their like BlizzCon conventions and everything like that, and they do live raids and stuff. So there is professionals in World of Warcraft. Most of them are PvPers though, not PvE. So it is kind of similar to League of Legends in that thing. But to kind of say what does it take to be a really good World of Warcraft player? Time. If you are thinking, if you're watching this video, trying to get more of an idea if, you know, World of Warcraft is for you, the thing that you need to be a pretty good WoW player is time. And I probably say more than League of Legends. You know, I know Diamond players in League that only have, you know, an hour or 2 to play every day. And then maybe only 3 times a week, you know, that you can get Diamond in League of Legends if you're just a really good player. You know, you see Diamond players... you know, really good players get Diamond in a day. You know, it doesn't take a long time to get Diamond if you're a decent player with World of Warcraft. You know, every single character's got gear that, you know, you have to, you know, with loot, you have to go into dungeons and get gear. You've got to do raids. And raids, by the way, if you're completely unfamiliar with the process, raids are organized, basically big dungeons that you go inside of them. And, you know, there's bosses inside there, there's monsters inside there, and you've got to coordinate together in order to kill the boss. You know, it's not simple as stand still and hit the boss. You know, there are proper tactics that you have to do in order to kill the boss, which is really organized. Where you have to get loot, you know, that boss, you kill the boss, and that drops something that you need. It might not drop that week, or your raid leader might give it to somebody else. You know, it takes a long time to get geared in WoW. And then once you're geared, you know, the rest of your guild has to be geared. And then new content comes out, you know, nearly every 4 months. So as soon as you complete one raid, another one's coming out. So that's you know, World of Warcraft is constant time. You just need a lot of time in order to do well in this game. So yeah, if you are looking to start, don't start if you don't have time, because personal story here, and this is going slightly off tangent off the topic of like the differences of high level, but just slight tangent, that's what we'll do in this series, is when I was younger, I'm talking, you know, 15, 16, doing GCSEs, World of Warcraft completely took over my life. You know, it was quite bad in a way that, you know, it took over as much as it did. It did affect my grades, where I'll say League of Legends is a much easier game if you are in education, because you can say to yourself, right, I'm going to play one ranked game and that's it. And if you have the discipline to do that, then great. You know, I do. You know, I have the discipline. Like if I'm doing university work, to say, all right, I'll do one solo queue game and then I'll go back doing work. With World of Warcraft, it's not that easy. World of Warcraft is, okay, I need to do this dungeon. I could say I could do this one dungeon, but then I'm going for this gear piece. Or what happens if that doesn't drop? Or, oh, I've got raids tonight. You know, raids take 3-4 hours on the organized nights. I need to do them raids. You know, there's so much more to World of Warcraft than League of Legends time-wise that you've got to be very careful. And that's why I'll say, if you are in education, if you don't have a lot of time, League of Legends is just a superior game. But just, you know, going back onto the point of what's the differences between high level, is World of Warcraft is very, once you learn it, you'll be fine. And that's with pretty much everything in the game apart from PvP. You know, PvP is player versus player, random stuff happens, some players will be doing different things, but in this, you know, I'm a raider, I'm player versus environment, that's the player I always am in World of Warcraft. Once you learn the rotation of buttons that your character has to do, so like this Warlock that I'm playing, right now I've only got 2 spells, and that's Shadow Bolt and Corruption. When you're obviously max level, you have a lot of spells, but once you learn what all them spells do and when to use them, that's it. That you've got it. It's nailed. You know when to use them. You use them at the right time. That's it. Then all you have to learn is positioning, and that comes with bosses. So then you have to learn, all right, we're doing this boss. This boss does these certain things. Once you learn that, you're done. You know, every single week it will be the same. You know, League of Legends, every single game is different. When World of Warcraft, every single, you know, if you do the same boss, so if you do the Lich King, he was the main boss of Wrath of the Lich King, so if you do the Lich King every single week for 3 months, he's going to do the exact same thing for 3 months. He doesn't change, you know. The only thing that can change in the actual fight are the players that are basically in with you. You know, if they make a mistake, then that can, you know, screw it all up. But the actual boss mechanics itself, they don't change. There are occasional bosses that there is random features within inside that, you know, one of 3 things could happen. But again, you learn the 3 things and then you just react accordingly to whatever, you know, happens. You know, it's that simple. So it's a lot, I'd say World of Warcraft is an easier game than League of Legends, but you just need to spend more time actually learning it. Where, what, you know, League of Legends again is a game that actually takes a long time for learning as well, but just, I don't know, not as much maybe. But that's pretty much it, I guess, for this video. These are the topics that I guess I talk about for the, you know, this video. So we talked about my history of World of Warcraft. How did I become an average or a decent raider? You know, I got to top 200 in, I think, the world on many fights on my hunter in damage DPS. So I was a pretty decent hunter. And we talked about that. We talked about what's the differences between League professionals and World of Warcraft professionals. You know, it's mainly time and just the game in general. So all I'll say is, if you've got any topics that you want me to talk about in the next few videos, feel free to say them in the comments below, and any suggestions for the series, put them in below, because trust me, it will help. But basically, just to wrap up this video, to tell you how this series is going to be done, is I'm going to be playing for the game for about an hour at a time, and then I have 2 topics that I talk about, and then that hour will be sped up into however long the 2 topics take to talk about. Now, there will be some episodes that I may only talk about 1 topic, and that will take 25 minutes. So then the hour footage will be sped up, you know, into that 20-25 minutes. So that's how long. That's how it's going to be. If it's a good system or not, I don't know. It's going to take me a couple episodes to kind of figure out everything, as I mentioned. but it should go fairly decent. So that's pretty much it. Thanks very much for watching episode 2. And again, any suggestions or anything, feel free to put them in the comments below. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So goodbye.